Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. I'm joined once again by your go-to German journalist, Alina. Alina, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. Today, we're talking about the very, very exciting Chelsea new signing, Sjoeke Nüsken. Am I saying it correctly?
Sjoeke Nüsken.
Do you want to give us like a good slow down how do you say her name? I'm sure a lot of fans are going to be wondering how her name is said.
Okay, I can pronounce it like really clearly and slowly. It sounds weird, but if I do it like that, but it's Sjoeke Nüsken.
There you go. I hope every single commentator is taking down notes. Everybody's writing down exactly how you want to say it because she is
Yeah.
a very, very exciting signing, as Alina would definitely want to elaborate on. A, a player that Chelsea probably is needing, specifically kind of her profile. Alina, kind of an insight on, she's a defensive midfielder. She's often seen playing in that midline or that back line. What is her profile like for those who haven't watched her playing before?
It's definitely a very interesting profile and a profile that we will see coming up in the next years with different players as well. A very versatile profile. I think versatility is the key word that you can link with her. Main position of hers is defensive midfield, obviously, but she also has this drive of going forward and like really creating something going forward in the midfield, like from a defensive perspective going forward.
Mhm.
But in this current season at Eintracht Frankfurt, her current club in Germany, she was playing as left center back. She did well there, but it's not her preferred position. But she can also play in the back line.
Yeah, she's quite tall, left-footed, I believe. Can drive in. I think if you look at her main strength, what do you think her main strengths are that people are going to be quite impressed with, and what are maybe possibly weaknesses that she's a young developing player would want to be looking at improving?
I think her biggest strength is like the way that she reads the game. She has a great awareness for like how everything is developing and where to be like. But on the other hand, like the placement is also still a bit of a problem. Like sometimes she has some mistakes in her like, do you say like placement on where
Positioning,
she,
I guess. Yeah.
yeah, positioning things. Like she has a bit of problems with her positioning still, like that she makes a mistake and then is like too late to defend or something. But on the other hand, she has great defensive actions, is good on the ball going forward, as I said, and yeah, great awareness for reading the game, good in the air. Has scored some headers, and I think there's a lot of potential that she can develop at Chelsea.
She has scored some headers, and I think now you mentioned Chelsea and flexibility. Hayes has been quite complimentary of her. And when asked about where is she going to be played, and Emma Hayes was like, "Well, she's flexible. We can throw her really anywhere," even suggesting playing her at left back. Is this something that we should be worried about seeing? Will this hinder her improvement? Is this something we should be open to seeing? And I think we can even reference possibly Julie Blackstad, who again was another young midfielder. She's also 21, 22 in August. So pretty much the exact same age as this new German talent we're talking about coming into the WSL is already in a way kind of experienced. She was rated and nominated as Player of the Year before coming in Rosegrand, and unfortunately now has gone to Hacken on loan because she just wasn't getting her minutes, and when she was slipping into left back. And so we kind of have seen WSL teams, specifically the big ones, get their hands on these big European names, quite young names as well, and be given the opportunity and the chance to develop them. And some of them haven't been done that before. And when you hear Emma Hayes talking about she's so flexible, we can even put her at left back, play the number 6, play the number 8. Is it something we should kind of be worried about? And specifically from somebody who has been following her for a minute.
It's an interesting reference with Julie Blackstad, because playing her at left back for Norway at the Euros, that went horribly wrong. We all
Yeah.
saw that. Don't do that again. Um, I think with Sjoeke Nüsken, if we look at her, there's also something that she brings with her that's really, really special. That's like a creative spark. She can definitely kind of be the game changer in midfield, like by creating something, because she really has good ideas for the game, obviously. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the main aspect of her game. And that could definitely be wasted. That could definitely be wasted if she gets to left back,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't see her as left back. Like center back, it goes well, but as I said, she has problems with her positioning sometimes, And that's something that she can balance out better in midfield when she can go forward, create something for her teammates and something like that. That's her biggest strength. And you're taking that away by potentially putting her to left back or racing her in the back line. And I
Mhm.
don't think that's her preferred position anyway. There were rumors like you heard things about her falling out with the head coach of Eintracht Frankfurt because she was
Correct.
always used at center back. And also the thing is she wants to like manifest sort of a starting position in the next years
Mhm.
in the German national team. And we all know how stacked the midfield is there. And also the German national team head
Stacked.
coach like had this tendency of putting her in the back line, and she was also unhappy with that. And I really think that she sees Chelsea as a chance to become like this defensive midfield. And I think she's definitely a very interesting mix between number 8 and number 6.
Mm.
And taking that away would be a huge mistake, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people have compared her to Sophie Ingle, and obviously Sophie Ingle is aging a little bit. Maybe in a way she'll be competing with her in terms of minutes. Would you hope she slips in and gets some minutes? Because I mean, she's been playing for, I mean, she's got over 100 appearances in Germany, and she's only 22. Like she's been racking up minutes, and like you said, she's going to be solidifying herself for, you never know, maybe a World Cup spot, but definitely, the upcoming Euros, the Olympics. She wants to be there. Do you think that number 6 spot is where she'll be getting the most amount of minutes, or maybe in the back line? Obviously, Annie Knuon would be coming back for Chelsea. They've got Eriksson leaving. Ingle again, she's not getting any younger. Obviously, she'll be coming on maybe possibly as that like super sub of experience. But if you had to guess and see and compare from what you've seen her play, obviously with Frankfurt, where do you think she'll be able to field the most amount of minutes?
I hope in midfield, but if I look at the Chelsea squad and also they have Jessie Fleming and what a player, I think she'll like first season we might see her more in the back line and
Mm-hmm.
then like trying her out a bit. But the main point, like she wants to be in the German national team like for the Euros, and I'm not sure if she will make the World Cup. I hope so. It's really tough. Like last year she didn't participate in the Euros and she was absolutely devastated to not be part of the squad, and that was a tough decision to make to be honest. And she doesn't want to happen. She doesn't want that to happen again because she has so much potential, and then missing out on a Euro squad is like just disappointing.
For sure.
Uh, I don't. I think it's difficult to predict like if she will
Yeah.
be like a starter during the season for Chelsea, like or when she will be a regular starter and where.
Mm.
But she definitely has the potential. But I definitely see that potential more in midfield.
Yeah. And obviously Chelsea have been very open in the fact that they're after the likes of Gioro and other CDM. And I think this signing probably pushes away those conversations for a little bit. And then obviously she's been compared to the likes of Oberdorf before. Everybody's quite familiar with Oberdorf, have seen her play. I mean, she was a massive, massive role in the Euros. And again, she hasn't declined a bit with Wolfsburg either. What kind of shades have you seen between the two of them? They've obviously played together as well a few times in the youth times with Germany, which is kind of like quite interesting and fun. 5, 6 years ago, you would have had not a single idea that these players are going to be like the face of German midfield. But I think just comparing their two games, obviously slightly different in terms of build. Obviously, Oberdorf is not as tall, or she doesn't have those like header qualities that Sjoeke does. So I think, what kind of shades would you have you seen from both of the players?
I think Lina Oberdorf is like the classical defensive midfielder, very physical, goes in all the tackles and duels,
Mm,
like really prevents like her, like really secures the back line and like behind her. And I think like when the transfer was made official like of Sjoeke Nüsken to Chelsea,
mm,
a friend like texted me on WhatsApp like what player would you compare her with? And I thought a lot about it. And fun like it's funny, it's a big comparison actually, but the first player that came to my mind was Kira Walsh actually.
okay.
I think she goes more in that direction. As I said, the mix between number 8 and number 6, like Kira Walsh, pulling the
Mm,
strings in midfield, dictating the tempo, like really reading the game well, and then creating something. That's something that I see a lot in Sjoeke Nüsken. On a lower level at the moment, not on the level that Kira Walsh is at the moment. But
sure.
if I would have to compare her, like I see more similarities with Kira Walsh than with like Elena Oberdorf, who's like
Mm.
really more defensive minded, I think.
It's quite interesting. I feel like a lot of Chelsea fans would be pleased to hear that. And I think a lot of
That's a big
Frankfurt,
comparison, and she's not on that level yet, but she has the potential, in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's all about potential. I think this is what's so fun about all these young stars that we're seeing. You can compare them to these like big dogs now. Obviously, Kara Walsh could be named as one of the big dogs at Barca. So Chelsea fans would be pleased to hear that, but I think Frankfurt fans probably aren't so happy. She has been a key player in last season. They secured third spot this season. Again, another what looks like will be another third spot finish. Champions League appearances she's had last year. Again, from the qualification stage, obviously she's got 12 goals with them in her career, or Germany at least. I mean, how much of a loss this is going to be for them?
Yeah, it's a big loss. It's such a shame because like the top, like the teams below, like Bayern Munich and VfL Wolfsburg, always get rated at some point in the summer. Sometimes it's SC Freiburg, then it's Eintracht Frankfurt. The other season it's TSG Hoffenheim, and that's
Yeah.
just such a shame because then being rated, they can never like really pose a threat to the top two teams in Germany.
Mm.
And to be honest, the German league is great. It has such great games, such great players, great everything. Like it's really good. It's not a, but a lot of people think like it's a shopping mall for other
Yeah.
leagues, and that's disappointing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, it lacks like, just like support from the federation, and yeah, that's the main thing. It's not fully professionalized, so of course we will see talented players like Sjoeke Nüsken leave for other leagues, and she really pushed for that transfer into like to the WSL, which makes sense. It's a great league, and she'll do well there.
Yeah. I think this is also, I mean, this is probably a very good conversation that we can sit here and talk for as long as we want about this idea of how transfers still kind of are not so great in terms of you got these, I don't know, like Big Ten clubs in the world that are always shopping from those smaller ones that are trying to build. But I think that'll be interesting to see in the summer. Any final words for how the Chelsea fans should be very excited for this very young star that's going to be with them hopefully for the next 3 years? No loan spells. Hoping not another Julie Blackstad episode. Um, yeah, what do you think? Final words, get them excited.
Yeah, of course. Be excited for her. Give her time to settle in. It's different leagues, it's different teams. She needs some time to like find her place in the Chelsea squad, and don't rush her. And yeah, but really a shame for Eintracht Frankfurt. Like there have been other rumors about their players, and it's just such a shame because I think with the squad they have at the moment, they really have a chance to make it to the Champions League group
Mm,
stages. Like last year, they obviously like were knocked out by Ajax Amsterdam like in the dying minutes of that game.
yeah,
And I think this year they would do better. But Sjoeke Nüsken has been with them since I think 2018,
yeah.
2017. Like really, she joined them really early. Like played for the youth teams. She was one of their key figures. Like one of the players that you really identify with the club. And
Mhm.
seeing her go is like it's pretty sad. But I think that she will do well at Chelsea. But give her time. Don't rush her. And but be excited for her. There's great things to come.
Give her time, don't rush her, and she'll be good. If you also have not watched any of her highlights, definitely make sure to go take a look because she is really a very well-rounded player. Even I was looking at some of her stats back in 2018, 2019. She had like a run of 5 games where she had consecutive goals in every one of those games. It was a U17 friendlies with Germany. And even one of the games, I don't know if you remember Alina, but she had 6 goals. Do you recall that at all?
I
Back in
think so,
2018.
and she probably wasn't played as left back in those
Yeah,
games.
yeah. So don't put her a left back.
Don't.
Alina, Alina's also written some really great work on her. She's covered her. She's been to various, I mean, you can count on 10 hands on how many Frankfurt games Alina's been to. So where can people find your work, your coverage? And you've also been really good at covering some of these young stars, predicting where they could go next. So I mean, the peeps know where they can read all your fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a transfer journalist. But yeah, but I had a lot of DMs like coming in. Where will this player go? Which club will sign which player? Like I can't answer those questions, but my work can be found on Twitter. My name there is at Alina underscore RXP, and I write stuff for 90 Minutes Germany and other media companies.
Both in German and in English. So definitely
Exactly.
check her work out. Alina, thank you so much for joining me. Always appreciate your time here and always appreciate your good scoops on players that are always going under the radar.
Thanks for having me.